Happy New Year's Eve, everybody. This is supposed to be a quickie, but it might not be. I wanted to speak to everybody that is listening who is finding it hard to find a relationship or be in a relationship or find challenges when you're in a relationship. And especially there's a really big movement at the moment, especially here in Melbourne. It's all over, but it's pretty strong in Melbourne at the moment, around what is often called or termed conscious relating, which as far as the terminology goes, consciously relating is amazing, and it's exactly what I teach and what I do, and a lot of the people that I work with do. But there's kind of a movement I think that's generally what it's called. That I know I see a lot of people who are part of this kind of movement and community who are extremely disappointed in their relationships. And so this is kind of for you guys, especially for the women, again, because that's who I'm working with mostly at the moment anyway. And that is that for those of you in this community, there's a lot of people who talk about speaking my truth and being in my heart. And while speaking one's truth is important, it always, whenever I hear that actually from someone, it kind of makes me just think, what are you talking about? Because of course you're going to be speaking your truth. I mean, having to say that at the beginning of a sentence is like a disclaimer, which kind of, I guess, means that you're not always speaking your truth. Because if there's a disclaimer that I'm speaking my truth now, does that mean that I don't normally? And I find that odd because, if you're not speaking your truth, what are you speaking? So anyway, first of all, I just want to tune into you guys that if you're relating with somebody and they start talking about, I just have to speak my truth and I'm really coming from the heart, be wary. Because if somebody says that, then that means that they have a very clear distinction between when they are being truthful and when they aren't being truthful, when they are coming from the heart, when they aren't coming from the heart. That's the first thing. And the reason I'm even mentioning this is because I see so many women who are in these kind of circles who are just so disappointed with relationships or the lack of them. They start off with something and it doesn't go anywhere, or they find that then, people are not really wanting to commit. And they're getting confused, though, and understandably, because there's a lot of talk at the same time around love and truthfulness. And we have a bit of a confusion in our society around love and truthfulness, because what's happening a lot of the time is that people are confusing love and truthfulness for their own will. And there's nothing wrong with being in your own will center. That's really awesome. We know that we're all made up of energy. It starts off in our base center, which is basically, sexuality and survival. And we move up into a place of safety and feelings. And then our energy moves up again and we move to a place of willfulness, which is fantastic. But just be aware that willfulness, so wanting to say what I want to say, wanting to do what I want to do, wanting to express that so that everybody knows what I want and where I'm going with what I want, and creating, the environment that I want is amazing. But that's not love. That's willfulness, and it's wonderful. And in relationships, it's great to have some willfulness. It's great to have some boundaries. But just be careful when someone starts to say, I'm coming from love and I want to do ... Well, if you're really truly coming from love, then love itself is unconditional. Love itself just gives and gives and gives and gives. And it's not that you're giving because you want to get something. It's not, and you don't get depleted from this kind of giving because you're giving from source. That's what love is. So if people are saying, I'm coming from love and I just need to ... and I want ... but I'm coming from love and this is my truth, just be wary. Because if they're coming from love, then it's selfless. And if they're coming from their willfulness and what they want and their personal boundaries, that's fantastic. But if they're not aware that that's what it is, then they're in the shadow of it. They're having to pretend to themselves that it's something that it's not. And that's scary. And if people are talking about you know, I'm just about, that's just the one that gets me the most. And I see it all the time. And I see so many women so sad because they, you know, meet this man or this person and they have this energy together and it's wonderful. And then, you know, the person says to them something like, look, you know, I'm just speaking my truth. And my truth is that I'm really into you. And I actually feel a lot of love for you. And I just need you to know, though, that I can't make any commitments and that I need to see other people and that I need that blah, 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 blah. Call bullshit on them because it's bullshit. It's just bullshit. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with somebody saying, hey, I'm really into you and I want to hang out, but I don't want a commitment. That's fine. But if they're kind of pre-framing that by saying, oh, you know, I'm coming from my truth, red flag, number one. If they say that, then that means that they're not always speaking truthfully. And, oh, you know, I'm coming from love. Bullshit. You're not coming from love. You're coming from willfulness. And if they're not aware of the distinction between their own will and love, then another red flag. And again, they're going to be shadowing their own willfulness, shadowing their own boundaries. So it's going to be a toxic relationship, even if it continues, and it probably won't anyway. So a little bit of a rant, a bit of an intense rant for New Year's Eve, but I just had to share it because I get this so many times, and I just want us to, you know, not only be aware for our own selves of what we're entering into, but also to be able to help those around us to step up and to own where they're really at. Because, you know, when we do that, we can all be powerful, and then we can have incredibly beautiful, healthy, and fulfilling relationships. I hope you're going to have a wonderful New Year's Eve. If you have any questions about this, please comment below.